Being a writer is great, but there are some hard truths that you'll have to face. Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about 5 hard truths about being a writer. Now, I absolutely adore writing. It is my passion. I love being a writer. I wouldn't be anything else. And even if I had all the money in the world and could retire tomorrow, I would still be writing books. But it isn't all dreamy and glamorous. Before we dive into my 5 hard truths about being a writer, please remember to hit subscribe and ring that little bell so you don't miss any videos. I post writing advice videos every Wednesday and a book review every second Friday. Also, if you would like to pick up a fantasy adventure novel, standalone for adults, then check out To Wear a Crown. It's available at all online retailers and all the links are listed in the description box below. Now, without further ado, let's get into some hard truths. The first hard truth is that you probably won't make a lot of money and you will need to do other work as well. So yes, there are people who make it big with writing, who get a huge book deal or who break out with a self-published book, but those are the outliers. Most books won't make you enough money to earn a living. My debut has earned around $620 in the last 11 months, which is actually a lot better than most self-published books do. The authors who write full-time are the ones who have long, consistent careers with several books under their belt. The popular idea is that you need 20 books to get to 50K. 20 is a lot of books to have written. So more often than not, authors are actually creative entrepreneurs with multiple income streams, of which book sales is actually a small one. Editing, social media, Patreon, design, ghostwriting, virtual assistant work, affiliate links, sponsorships, etc. will be where most of your money probably comes from. Then, hard truth number 2. It's a lot of hard work and sometimes it'll feel like work. I hope most people know that it's a lot of effort and work to write a book. But I think a lot of lay people and even hobbyist writers think that it won't feel like work because it's their passion. And they're not wrong. Most of the time. I absolutely adore writing. It's 100% my passion. And sometimes when I sit down to write, I really enjoy it and I lose myself in the story and in the characters and it doesn't feel like work. But that won't be the case 100% of the time if you write professionally or commercially. At least a portion of your income comes from your writing. It's your job and you can't just write when you feel like it. So sometimes you have to sit down and get words on the page, even when the passion and inspiration isn't there, and it'll feel like work. It's stressful and writers often work harder and longer hours than people with office jobs. Yes, it's flexible and it's at least something you most of the time enjoy doing, but it's hard work. And you work this hard with no guaranteed reward. You don't know whether that book is going to be successful or not. And sometimes it'll feel like absolute torture to get yourself to start writing. Then the third hard truth is people can be idiots and say hurtful or annoying things. I've always wanted to write a book. I'm sure if I just sat down and had the time, I'd be able to write a book. But that's not your real job, is it? Do you want to ghostwrite my book idea? Will you put me in your book? So you just, think up stories all day. That must be nice. People have a lot of misconceptions about what it means to be an author. A lot of that is due to TV shows and movies depicting writers as scatterbrained creatives who either spend years and years in isolation cultivating a single idea, or someone suddenly getting an amazing idea and writing a best-selling book overnight by candlelight. Some people think you must be rich and famous if you're a professional writer. Some people think you don't have a job. And the worst of them think they can do it too. Maybe you can, but you haven't. I'm not going to ghostwrite for you, and I don't care about your incredible book idea. I have dozens of ideas of my own with no time to write them. And I'm not going to put you in my book because my characters need to be interesting. And if you're a self-published author, it's even worse. A lot of people associate self-publishing with publishing through a vanity press. So you pay someone to publish your book and to print a bunch of copies of it. So many people have asked me, where do I get my books printed? How many copies I printed? And whether I sell them from the trunk of my car. Not since the early 2000s. This isn't a vanity project. This is a career and a business. And print-on-demand companies exist. And they're huge. But with self-publishing, you get stuff like, oh, so your book wasn't good enough to get published. You're not a real author. But listen, self-published books make up more than half of the market. And a lot of self-published authors do better than traditionally published ones. I have readers all over the world. My book is the same quality as any traditional published book out there. And it's just as legitimate. So, shut up. Unfortunately, you'll have to deal with these kinds of people your whole career. Idiots will never not exist. Hard truth number 4. Self-doubt is your constant companion. Sorry to have to tell you, but the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome doesn't go away. Writing is incredibly subjective, and we are so close to our writing that it's difficult for us to tell whether it's actually any good or not. And unfortunately, writers' minds tend to think our work isn't good enough. You're going to rethink your ideas, rewrite and rewrite, question your writing style, compare your writing to other people's finished products, and probably have an existential crisis along the way. You can do certain things to manage this and to lessen it, but the self-doubt is always going to be there. And then hard truth number 5, you need way more skills than just writing or storytelling. Now for me, this isn't necessarily a hard truth because I quite enjoy the multifaceted aspect of it. But for some people, it's very daunting that they need to have all of these other skills as well. So researcher, editor, proofreader, psychologist, marketer, social media manager, formatter, business owner, accountant, design manager, graphic designer. Especially if you're self-publishing, you need to wear so many different hats. And if you have multiple streams of income, like I mentioned in point number 1, there may be even more skills that you need. So even if you're traditionally published, you will have to do your own marketing. You'll have to research and self-edit and proofread and make business decisions. Accept that and try your best to learn the skills that you need. The sooner you come to terms with it, the sooner you can improve, have those skills, and be much better at your job. So that's it. Those are 5 hard truths of being a writer. As I said in the beginning of the video, I wouldn't want to do any other job. I just want people to understand that it has some downsides, some hard truths. And if you want to be a full-time writer, you're going to have to accept these. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, remember to grab a copy of To Wear a Crown, link in the comments. Remember that I had to go through all of these hard truths for 7 years to get this book out there. So, do a girl a solid. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, and my newsletter. All the links are listed below. You can also follow me on BookBub, link listed below. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.